Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Welcome. I'm excited about today's Hot Topic Tuesday. So you want to take your business online and you don't know how the heck to get started. Today's tips are very simple. Probably for those of you that are just starting to think about taking your business online. So for those of you that have gotten beyond that and have already started, bravo. These may or may not be for you. That's up to you. Let me know. I always would love to know what you guys want to learn about, know about, and what I can share with you to get you started. I'm Emily Smiley, for those of you that are new to this page and don't know me. And my passion is really in teaching and helping others to take their business online, leverage their time, and use some systems. So with that said, how many of you guys, especially if you're new to the page, I have a lot of new people lately, how many of you feel that with all of the online resources and social media and groups and lives and videos and chats, that there has to be a better way to build your business than driving endless hours to meetings and one-on-one long dates and giving presentations or three-way calls where the person has no idea or very little, maybe some idea of what they're coming to the phone for. And you just think, gosh, there just has to be a better way. Hey, Benjamin, thanks for hopping on. I have felt that way, right? When I first started network marketing, I built very traditionally, and I did very well for quite a while until I didn't. And how many of you guys have had that happen where you've plateaued? And most of us tend to think, well, let's build online, right? Like that's the next logical step. Have you felt that way? So I thought, okay, well, and I was told, we have systems, you just need to duplicate it. All right, so let's duplicate this. And it didn't duplicate for me. And it never duplicated for me. And when I started to build online, there really were no resources, or I had no idea where to turn to or what roadmap to follow in trying to build online. Have you ever felt that way? I was like, holy crap, there's like so much that you could be doing, it gets overwhelming, right? It's like, information constipation, right? You just have so much information that you do what? You get fearful, you get stuck, maybe you throw 2 or 3 tactical things out there, maybe to little or no effect. And that's how a lot of people are building their business. They may purchase a course from this person or something from this person or one thing from this without actually having that duplicatable system that maybe their company has given. That works. There's people crushing that space. But when someone decides that they want to take and build their business online, you still need to plug into the same duplicatable system. It just looks different. So it doesn't matter if you are home-based business or, whatever it is, direct sales, you can bring that strategy, not tactic, online so that it duplicates. Because it's frustrating. And, as a busy mama, like the whole reason why I started really wanting to build and to get out of teaching traditionally in the class was I wanted that time freedom. But what I found was, gosh, I was spinning my wheels a lot. And I would drive, you guys, I literally one time drove probably 3 hours to an event and no one showed. And that was crushing for me. I told my husband, I said, I cannot continue to do this and to build this way. And I want to be supportive of my team, but this isn't working for me. And so I thought, well, if I just hustle a little harder or talk to more people, right? How many of you have ever been told that? But if you don't have that influence and you don't have that following, what the heck people are you going to talk to, right? It's like trying to, ask someone to marry you before you date. Like people they don't know, like, and trust you. So why are they going to listen to you if you don't have the influence? So I just kept hustling and I kept building those relationships and, plugging into my duplicatable system. But even when it was doing well, and this was the eye-opener for me, even when it was doing well, and I had multiple calls, three-way and one-on-one, my husband he's a fireman, and he had been away on a fire. Hey, if you're just jumping on, let me know. Just say hi where you're tuning in from. Anyway, he had been gone for almost a month, and I had all these calls lined up. And you guys, I was home, so I didn't have to drive to an event, but I literally was locked in my room for probably 6 or 7 hours, just back to back to back. And you might say, hey, and that sounds like an amazing problem to have. But you guys, I didn't feel like I had any leverage or control of my business. And I just wanted to sob. I wanted to sob because I thought there has to be something better than this constantly needing my attention. Like every single person on my team needed me to be present on every single call that they did for that validation. So there are ways, and I have learned since then, thank God I no longer feel this way. And I just thought, God, there has to be a better way, right? There just has to be a better way. I'm not opposed to speaking with people who are excited to speak to me, but I no longer wanted to need the volume of the amount that would take consistently to do it that way. I thought, God, there has to be a way to leverage all of this, right? So yes, online systems do duplicate. I no longer feel that way. How many of you would be really excited if I shared just a couple of simple things today that can actually get you started on the beginning of that roadmap that I got so excited about, where you are attracting people to you that want to know, hey, what you up to, right? Because no one wants to feel salesy. How many of you have had people turn you down because they don't want to be a salesperson? And then, we give them the spill about, it's sharing and not selling. Hey, there's a transaction taking place. It's a business. You're not running it. Yes, stories sell, right? And info doesn't, not so much, right? So we want to tell those stories and share those stories, but it is a business. And at the end of the day, I just really wanted to treat it like one, and I wanted normal working hours. So for me, what did that look like? It meant building online. So I'm not saying one is better than the other. Don't misunderstand me. There's people out there crushing it both ways. But for me, the online. And it's amazing now to have people book video chats and reach out in Messenger and, on my Facebook page and go through, a funnel and all just to try to, figure their own, right? They're just trying to figure their business out as well. And that was amazing. I was out of town this weekend. Not only did I make sales, I had multiple people reaching out to me much farther than I could ever get to. People in other countries, reaching out, hey, what is that? I want to know more about what you offer. And they've already gone through some sort of funnel that you've put them with. And so they kind of, by the time they get to you, there's been a system that they followed to where they get to where they know, like, and trust you, right? One of the people that I connected with this weekend, it was awesome. They're in... I can't remember what country overseas. I want to say maybe Australia. And they said, hey, I've been following you for a while. I purchased, the attraction marketing, and I really want to know more about this, right? That is from me consistently getting that out there. And you can do the same in your business. Now, if you've been listening and you're like, hey, I hear you talking about funnels and I don't know how to do all that crap and I don't know that I want to do all of this invest, I would question two things. First of all, I did that in the very beginning. Right? I was like, I'm not techie, can't do this, don't know funnels, blah, blah, blah. And what I've learned is a funnel doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to like clickfunnel.com, right? Nothing like that specifically. You can make your own type of funnel on your personal profile page. And I'm going to share that with you guys today, how simple that is, that you can actually funnel people through. Now, you can get more techie and you can automate more things, and that's super awesome and so fun to see when that starts happening in your inbox where all these people are like, bam, bam, bam. But no matter what you do, you can take advantage of that. So how would it feel to not have to feel like you're prospecting all the time, right? I've been there where I'm literally running errands looking for people to talk to, and that was not fun at all. So since it wasn't working for me and you thought there has to be a better way, my suggestion is to use attraction marketing. Now, before you tune me out, hear me out. I feel like that's become a little bit of a buzzword. Everyone's like, oh, attraction marketing, know that. Oh, Curiosity Post, know that. Okay, but do you? I challenge you to think and dig a little bit deeper, just a little bit deeper. I don't think anyone is really connecting with people on social media correctly. And I would say the answer is in your results, right? If you get more intentional, your results tend to change. So dig a little deeper into that attraction marketing. What does that look like? Okay, number one, I'm going to share I think I've got about 3 to 5. And they get more advanced. So if you feel like this is simple, stick with me. There's more advanced at the very end. But I'm not going to go into depth in each one. And I pretty much have done a Facebook Live on each one. So if you want those lives, check it out on my page or just reach out and I'll be glad to share it with you. Number one, I would say make your personal profile public. Public. Now, I speak to a lot of mamapreneurs out there that don't want their kids or don't want it. So my suggestion would be, I get it. Either don't put your children on there, period. Make a private group, maybe with just your family. Or hey, if you want it to be public and you're posting every once in a while, then when you post and you're like, I don't want my family on a public, page, then you can have the option to make that private. Does that make sense? But you want people to find you, right? If you're building your business online and you don't have your personal profile public, then, it's how effective is that? Because if you are only building a little bit on your personal profile, you want that to be public. You want people to see you. And you want to be branding yourself on your personal. If I can click on your personal profile and I can tell what company that you're with, then it needs a facelift. So my challenge to you within number one, make your profile public, and I'm talking about just personal page right now. I'll get into more advanced in a minute. Brand yourself in that area. Take everything that's about your company off your personal profile. It's not effective. Why? Because the company, people don't buy from the company because it's the company. They are buying from you. They want to see you. They don't want to see that crap on your page. Sorry, it's true. Save it for a page or a customer group or something like that. But on your personal, take it off. If you're in health and wellness, share health and wellness. If you're in real estate, share real estate. But they don't want to see your product, your company, your logo, because they want to connect with you. So that in general, attraction marketing is attracting people to you. And let's be honest, there's a lot of people out there building a lot of businesses and just it's like the Charlie Brown, right? Like we have tuned them out. So maybe this worked for you a couple of years ago, but there's so many people that are trying to build online that you've got to be smarter. You've got to stay with the times. You've got to stay relevant, and you've got to give your pages a facelift. You want to give people a reason to reach out to you. Why? Because you want to have those conversations. It doesn't matter if you're in Messenger or if you get on a video chat with them, or even if you're just texting, although I do suggest you use the voice in Messenger. I'll get to that in a minute. So you want to have those conversations. And if you're like, this is my product, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, how effective is that going to be? Because maybe their friend down the road, already sells that, and now they've had no reason to talk to you. I digress. I said I wasn't going to get into these. If you need or have more questions on branding, there absolutely is a Facebook Live that I have done on that. So brand yourself, make your public profile public. Number two, a power post versus a curiosity post. Okay, I have gotten away from using curiosity post. Why? Because everybody's trying to use them, right? They're less and less and less effective because I can tell my friends that are selling stuff because they're putting up curiosity post. It's still kind of posing with their product. It may or may not, and they are telling kind of what the product is versus what it does. When you come from a place of power, you are explaining what the product solves. What problem are you solving for people? Not what it is. People do not give a crap about you listing all of this information. If you are spouting it out there to the general audience, they don't give a crap. Sorry. Hashtag truth, right? They don't. If they have a specific question about what's in it or whatever, guess what? They're going to reach out to you. At the end, you might say, hey, if you have any specific questions about how this worked for me, reach out, holla, let me know, right? That is so much more effective than, hey, I'm going to give this to 5 of my friends, and then you end up with none of your friends reaching out to you. Why? Because this is not effective. You need to post from a place of power and disassociate from the results or the outcome. That will help get you traction on social media, right? And as you're posting, comment on other posts even before you go to post. Why? Because when you get into Facebook, it has this lovely thing, algorithms. And when you go specifically to people that you are trying to share, reach out to, prospect, whatever, join you, if you go and you comment on their stuff, and be a human, guys, be kind. Don't do it from like a commission breath, I need to sell standpoint. Just be honest in like, hey, how's your family? Hey, love that picture. Like, it can be an honest compliment. But what it does is it stirs up those algorithms within Facebook so that when you go live and you post, those people are seeing more of your stuff, right? Because why make it public and why go through all of this creative power posting if no one's going to see your stuff, right? Let's be honest. You want people to know what you're up to. All right, number 3, when you're doing those, you want to connect in Messenger. Facebook right now is really wanting people to connect more. So if you are still using the like button, I would encourage you to use anything other than that. Just take that extra step, heart button, sad, mad, like be more specific. And if you can answer them or you want them to answer you, you want to kind of start that conversation, but then take it over into Messenger. I've had people go, hey, you know, that looks shady, whatever. Like, why can't you just have it on the main thread here? And it'd be like, well, because I want to have a personal, heartfelt conversation. Oh, well, why are you trying to keep that information? I'm not. You are absolutely welcome to it for free. I would just like to connect with you one-on-one in Messenger so we can have a more meaningful conversation, right? Because people do figure out what you're up to, and if you're on there saying, hey, you know, I'll message you. Now, I will say, do this from a dating standpoint, like we talked about, right? Like, you don't want to like make Facebook friends and then be like, hey, and then start spamming your link, right? How many of you have done that? You've joined Facebook groups or yard sale groups or any kind of group where you're immediately like, oh, hey, you know, DM me, right? And then that's where your Messenger stuff is. You will get turned in because people are turned off by that. So have a real conversation, have a relationship, be a good human being in saying like, hey, how's your family doing? Wait for them to say the need. And then your product should solve one of their problems, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. Eventually, they're going to reveal a need for you, right? Even if it's just, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? Usually the conversation will go, well, hey, what are you up to? And that's maybe your chance. Not to give the spiel, right? But just simply maybe state what you're up to and ask another question. So I would say if you are taking a lot of your stuff into Messenger, make sure that you're having more meaningful conversations there. And the cool thing about Messenger versus like phone calls is like I've had phone calls where I forget what the heck we shared, when we talked about, when we last talked. In Messenger, it's all documented, right? So you can see if you got to share a video with them, or, you know, if they were interested in, you know, one of your business first, you know, maybe something else that you share, and it's all recorded. So you're like, oh, I haven't talked to this person since whenever, right? And actually, here's a pro tip. It lets you schedule it now. So you can actually follow up. It's kind of like a CRM in there, which is amazing. So, you know, if you haven't connected with somebody, be like, hey, what's up, dude? I never heard back from you. Like, you know, is this something you're still interested in, or how's the family, or wherever you want to take that conversation, right? So don't offer until they have that conversation and they have a need. So ask questions. That's how you get there. And then really listen, right? Like we said. Okay, next tip, go live. Go live. If you're building your business on, I was going to say Facebook, but really any social media, right? Instagram has it, YouTube, Facebook Lives, like they love lives and they're going to push it. So what's the difference between that? Well, I don't like people to see and I just want to post. Okay, first off, not as many people are going to see your stuff if you're just posting. Number two, if you're posting, always put a picture with it, right? It's way more meaningful, way more people will see it. It really helps the algorithm. But the best is either go live, or I will add that / in stories. Right? So why? They're wanting to put like snippets of your day. So we're like, I don't know, even a couple years ago, they would say like, oh, post 8 to 10 times a day. And now most people that build know that that's really not as meaningful, right? You might post a couple of times a day, but you might have the stories at the top. And just know that you're not talking to an audience of a standstill audience. You're talking to a moving like parade. So you have to assume that everything that you've put out there, not everyone has seen. Sometimes someone will see a post and someone else may not see that post and see it in the stories. So as many of your social media platforms as you can connect, the better, because like I said, someone might see the same thing in your stories and you might duplicate it and put it into one of those power posts that we talked about. So get your content out there in your power post, but also go live so that that algorithm and more people can see you. And when you are going live, make sure that you're coming from a place of sharing and branding yourself in the area that you're in, not your company, and assume that you're talking to a moving parade. So it's not always going to be the same people, because that's really helpful. Those stories and those snippets, Facebook is really liking those now. So, you know, even if it's just a couple of things there, you know, share that. Let people know what you're up to, what you're about. It doesn't have to be so one. It can be multifaceted, you guys, right? Like you're up to more than one thing, right? You don't have to always just put, your product or, your same thing up. Ask questions. Why would you ask a question? Because it builds engagement. And a simple question, I saw someone say, I don't know, it depends on your audience, but if you're having a hard time with your audience answering, I would say put something simple that they could respond to. Like, hey, do you like coffee or tea? Right? They don't really have to put much thought into it. And then not only are you learning about your audience, but you're also building that engagement. So make sure that you're going live, make sure that you're using stories, make sure that you're asking questions or filling in the blanks so that you're getting that engagement and really stirring that algorithm, because why the heck would you spend so much time trying to build on social media or online if no one is going to see your stuff, or if it's not going to eventually lead to those relationships where you're going to get sales? Why are you going to get those and build your business? Because people are getting to know, like, and trust you. How do they get to know, like, and trust you? Because when you're doing videos, they get to see you. They get to read what you're about. And you know what? You might turn some people away. That's all right. I'm okay if I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'd rather be a few people's shot of whiskey, right? So you want to connect with the people that are already, and it gets rid of the other people faster. Right? Where it used to be like you could be on a call for how long before you're like, oh, this is not a good fit. And that's okay, right? You're weeding out those people much, much, much faster when you're putting your content more about what you are about. So what is it that you are about? And the last tip that I have, I would say is, if you feel like you've done that, there's only so much that you can do on a personal page, at least on Facebook. And it still is the best way, in my opinion. And there's people out there, I'm actually getting on a training in a couple of days about learning more about Instagram. It's not an area where I've dominated, but LinkedIn, check, YouTube, check, Facebook, check, right? And there's a reason why a lot of people are still doing a lot on Facebook, because it's still very business, but it is a pay-to-play platform. So you really want to start a public page, like a separate business page. Hook it up to a business account in Ads Manager. Why? Because if you've ever had anyone tell you, oh, just make a list of 100 people that you know and think of every single person back to your second grade teacher, and you've tried to go through that list and you're like, holy crap, this is a lot of work. Well, guess what? When you build a business page and you run a liked campaign, you can get 100 people in about 24 hours. And then you start to build and you start to present to the same people over and over, and you're dripping on them, and you're giving and leading with value. But what's happening? You're getting back in front of the same people, and you can continue to grow that. So that's what I say when I think I did a live on this, why you don't need like thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. You don't want that. You actually want to weed those out, and you want people that specifically are already interested in what you offer. And I can absolutely tell you that if you have a personal page, half of those are your friends and family, and they're not going to buy from you. They're not going to want what you offer because they're not high quality prospects for a customer or business. Maybe you turn some, maybe you don't. Maybe you attract some, maybe you don't. But why would you put all your eggs in that basket when you can go on over and build your own personal brand with you and what you stand for and what you offer and what solutions and what problems that you solve? And you start to get people onto that page and attract to that page, and you can automate on that page. You have so much more in terms of opportunity about what you can do with those, into sharing and creating content and continuing to add to people and keeping it separate and off your personal page. So if you have not started a public fan page or business page or whatever it is that you want to call it, I highly suggest that you do so. If you have questions on that and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, reach out to me. Drop either a me in the comments, even if it's on a replay, put #replay, and then let me know. I would love to connect with you on a video chat, and I would be more than happy to help get you started. It's only a few minutes, and that will be done. Don't spin your wheels or take time trying to do that. But you can always go to this lovely thing called Google, and you pretty much can Google anything that you want to do now. My daughter does it all the time with tech stuff. It's fascinating. But anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. Just as a recap, let me go over my notes here. So getting started online. Number 1, brand yourself in one area. Make your profile public, whether that's your personal or a fan. Number 2, use power posts. So post from a place of power, what your product or service does and what it solves, not what it is. Number 3, Connect into Messenger, making sure that you are having conversations and meaningful relationships, adding people, and again, solving a problem. Don't offer until they need and ask lots of questions. Number 4, I would say go live. Making sure that you're branding you and you're building that know, like, and trust. Number 5 is also to use stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, to add those snippets to your day instead of posting. So go back to that 1 or 2 power posts a day, and then maybe a live, and then use those stories. And then that bonus tip would be to start a business or fan page so that you can get 100 likes on there. The 100 is key because you need 100 before you can start automating things. If you have any questions, or you're like, hey, I'm ready to get started, I'm tired of spinning my wheels, I'm tired of this taking so much time, or not feeling in control of it, or maybe you just want to build online, you don't know where to get started, I'm going to put in the comments, I will put my online calendar. I would love to connect with you on a video chat. I'll give you 15 minutes of my time. And if you find that helpful, I understand sometimes you just want a person to talk to. I get it. I had a couple people mention that this weekend. Hey, I went through your funnel. I think it's great. I've seen your videos. I just have a few questions. Great, let's chat. If you're like, nope, don't need to chat, I'm in, head on over to EmilySmileyLive.com. It should be up at the top of the page. And there is a free boot camp for attraction marketing formula. This was a game changer and totally what I was looking for. My friend and mentor, Fernie Ceballos, is the one who wrote it. It is not from me. It is from Beyond Expert of Me, where he really shares how he really took his business and exploded it in the online. And he has created a roadmap inside of our community with attraction marketing. And it has been a game changer for all of the mompreneurs that I've helped to connect there. So if that is something that you are interested in, then head on over to EmilySmileyLive.com to get that sent to you. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon, and get out there and crush it. All right, you guys, have a great day. Till next time. Bye.